I know this is my nan's favourite, but it also happens to be Ben's favourite.
It's a trifle, and we're going to amplify it with the flavours of banoffee.
Now hold on to your hats for this one. There is quite a bit involved, but believe me, it's worth it.
Because we're going to make banana bread, and we're going to make a rum jelly.
Yes.
We're going to put toffee into our custard.
Yes.
And we're going to finish it with almonds and chocolate. So it's going to be pretty special. It starts with banana bread. Basically, we're going to beat together butter and sugar in a bowl. So you can crack on with that. And then to it, we add in 2 bananas. Generally, the riper the banana, the better. The ones that are starting to get the black spots, absolutely perfect. I'm going to show you along just so I can mash on this board.
No worries.
All the banana flesh. All of the mashed banana mixture goes into the creamed sugar and butter and just keep beating. And then crack in 2 eggs. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is between banana bread and banana cake.
No, there doesn't seem to really be one because they both use some of the similar flavours,
especially with this
ingredients,
one.
and
Not all breads have egg and butter and sugar in them, where this does, like a cake. But we're going to bake it in a loaf tin, so it looks a bit like bread. It's also brilliant if you make it, toast it in the morning with a bit of butter, mug of coffee. It's not a bad little breakfast.
Cheese and salad cream or pickle.
No, not that sort of bread.
Right, okay.
Everything fully combined, and that can all go into our loaf tin. And then that needs baking off at 180 degrees Celsius for about 50 minutes. And it might be worth just putting a little bit of tin foil over the top of the bread for the last 10-15, because you want to cook it right through to the middle, but you don't want it to colour too much. So that can go into the oven. And we can look at the next part of our trifle. So this is a banoffee trifle, the merge of banoffee pie, which is already a portmanteau, with trifle. And in trifle you need jelly. Okay, so the bread is going to act as our sponge.
Okay.
Now for the jelly.
Now, trifle, I did a bit of research into trifle because I thought this is Sorted Eats Britain. I want to tell you about why trifle is British.
Yes.
I had no idea trifle came from Scotland. James, did you know that?
I didn't know that,
James
James.
is actually a Scottish person.
So to make the jelly, we want a sugar syrup, which is just water brought to a boil with sugar.
Okay.
All the quantities down below. Plus, we've got a few sheets of leaf gelatin. And if you could just grab the kettle from behind us.
Yes.
We just want actually cold water we've got in the kettle to pour over there and just soak the gelatin leaves.
Okay.
Earlier on, I baked off a banana bread.
Oh, you gorgeous, gorgeous man.
If I slice it, you can layer it into our beautiful trifle cut glass bowl.
Now, if you don't have one of these yourself, your nan probably does have one. That's where Ben got his from.
Yeah, well, no, I bought my own. But it's...
I was trying to cover your back, Ben.
So, banana bread, amazing consistency, light bubbles. That can just be broken up into there.
Yep.
A complete layer would traditionally be sponge. At this point, you could soak the sponge with a banana liqueur if you want, but don't forget, we're going to make a rum jelly.
Well, I think in Scotland, traditionally, they put whiskey in it, because that's what they make in Scotland. They make whiskey. Yeah. And you might also know this. People are saying, I haven't had trifle, I'm not from Britain. Actually, it might also be called tipsy cake. I think that's sort of like an Americanism of it. It's tipsy cake, basically
Same thing.
Putting alcohol in food.
It's a great combination. All of our soaked gelatin going into a hot sugar syrup with the rum. Whisk it until both the sugar and the gelatin is dissolved, and then pour that over the banana bread. That is a rum jelly.
Oh.
You want to go about a third of the way up the bowl.
It's delicious.
Banana rum, great combination.
It's like a mojito.
Without the lime, yeah.
Yeah, or the mint.
All the mint.
But it's got rum and sugar syrup. It's like the beginnings of a mojito.
It's like the beginnings of a mojito. It's the beginnings of our trifle, and it needs to go into the fridge for a good couple of hours to set up. And while you're there, Jamie, you'll find one that I made earlier that's already set. Next up, the next layer.
Yep.
Custard.
Okay.
We're going to make a toffee custard, part of our banoffee, the merge of banana and toffee. And if you wish that with another cheats ingredient, a tin of caramel.
Oh, okay.
You can make your own by boiling up condensed milk, but this one's already good to go.
Now, banoffee was something that confused me, actually. I've always thought banoffee was American.
So did I, until we were in LA a couple of months back, and we were talking about banoffee, and no one knew what we were talking about.
No, no one knew about it at all. And it turns out it's actually British. It was made in a restaurant called The Hungry Monk.
The Hungry Monk.
Down in Sussex, which is South England.
And what I love about it with British food is it's quite a recent one. It's only been around for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Compared to other traditional British dishes which have been around for centuries. So that's going to go onto here. That's layer number 2. Very much a cheat. Pre-made custard, pre-made caramel. And the custard really kind of mellows out the caramel. But what we thought the other day would be really cool is at this point, if we put little kind of dollops of the caramel as it is on top of that, then you get little pockets of really sugary, sweet hits. And then onto the next layer of our trifle, cream. Whip that up until you've got soft peaks, Then we'll add in some icing sugar and turn it into stiff peaks. And while you're doing that, I'm going to take another banana, quite an underripe one, quite a firm banana, and I'm going to slice it. It is a big one. And I'm going to slice it nice and thin to put on top. At this point, icing sugar can go in. It's just starting to get to soft peak stage. You might want to slow it down a bit. Just kind of mix that in.
How about that?
Perfect. Now you could always add in a bit of extra rum if you wanted to, but I think for this one we can get away without it. So we're going to pipe all the way around. And while I'm doing that, Jay, do you want to chop up some chocolate?
Yes.
On the other half of that banana board. Dark plain chocolate, almonds and banana. Classic combination for banoffee.
Yes.
Now maybe I don't need to be quite so fancy with this. Maybe it's just a drop in. Do you want to scatter some chocolate?
Yeah.
Scatter some almonds. Plenty of banana. Bit of fresh fruit in there.
Remember, dropping from a height, you get a really good spread.
You can clear up afterwards.
Lovely.
There we go. I tell you what, you might have taken the mickey all the way through that, but banoffee pie, quite a new English thing.
Yeah.
As desserts go. Trifle, a very traditional Scottish thing. Together, banoffee trifle.
Sorted. As trifles go, you've modernised that.
The banana bread is better than your average sponge.
Now this is the part where we usually ask you a sensible question, but do you know what? This is the British Nan's favourite dessert.
Proper retro.
What is your Nan's favourite dessert? That is a great question.
Look forward to reading those.